Jayden had good rehab session today. He also threw out on the field. He won't practice today, and then as we get into Friday, I'll give you an assessment of where we're at after we go through practice on Friday.
How much are you finding that you're having to hold him back from doing too much at this point?
Yeah, we're going through that process. Like, that's him as a competitor. But we also, recognize the importance of the person, the player, what he means to the franchise. So we're also going to be smart, not just fast in this assessment. But this is a player that's absolutely wanting to do everything all the time. So it was a good start to the week for us, throwing the movements at the position. So I know we've talked a little bit about return to play, but there are position-specific skills that you do for each one. So he hit those today, which was a good start. And then, like I said, I'll give you the final update on Friday.
Huge, really. I think that's what's been awesome about this team. We kind of preach it every single day, but just the brotherhood, the connection, regardless of how this situation plays out, just knowing that the guys have my back gives me confidence to just go out there and be myself and play to the best of my abilities.
With you and Jayden are obviously different people, different quarterbacks. There's no Austin out there. Noah's dealing with injury. John Bates. Like, how different could a game look like with you than Jayden out there?
Again, we just have to wait and see. But, what's been nice is we've been able to kind of keep things very similar, regardless of who's playing at the position, even during preseason. And if it comes down to it, Cliff will ask me what things I like, what I don't like, and then we'll just roll. But from that standpoint, from an offensive standpoint, with our abilities across the quarterback room, it's been nice the fact that we can kind of keep the same system throughout each guy.
All right, let's go over the injury report. There is a lot of names on here, which is not a surprise. We suffered a lot of injuries versus the Packers last Thursday. So obviously there's a lot of names on here. Dietrich Wise and Austin Eckler both suffered season-ending injuries. They got placed on season-ending IR, and then Jonathan Jones suffered, a hamstring injury, so he got placed on IR as well. So we also signed Preston Smith, which I'll talk about in a second. We suffered a lot of injuries. John Bates, Noah Brown, Jayden Daniels, they were all DNPs today. Not a surprise with Bates and Noah Brown, and even Jayden, but with Bates and Noah Brown, both guys are dealing with a groin injury, and they did not practice today. Now, DQ said today in his presser that he feels a little bit better about those guys compared to Monday. However, they are still probably long shots to play this week, but maybe, they are good to go for next week or the week after, right? So we'll see. And then Jayden Daniels, obviously a knee sprain. I still have some hope that he plays, but right now I'm leaning towards they'll just err on the side of precaution. That's what all the national media reporters have been saying. Ian Rappaport, Adam Schefter, right? So that's the side I'm leaning towards right now. However, if he can practice on Friday and he's able to do everything that makes Jayden, then I think that they will put him out there Sunday against the Raiders. But if Jayden isn't able to, run, make cuts, do what he does on the ground with his legs, then I don't think they'll push him. They'll err on the side of precaution and put in Mariota, who they trust and I trust as well, to go out there and play well. 3 veteran rest days today. Zach Ertz, Von Miller, Laramie Tunsil. Those guys are fine. Just rest. And then Trey Amos, Brandon Coleman, they got banged up with shoulder injuries versus the Packers. They came back in the game, though. I think those guys will be fine for Sunday versus the Raiders. And then Jeremy McNichols, hamstring limited. He should be fine. And then Cole St. Agoff, hip limited. He should be fine as well. So the 3 names to really pay attention to on here are John Bates, Noah Brown, and Jayden Daniels. And then as for the Raiders injury report, nothing to see here. Brock Bowers' knee, he was, I think, questionable, but he did end up playing versus the Chargers a couple nights ago, Monday night. So he's fine. He's going to play. He was limited today, but he's going to play on Sunday. Jeremy Chin, Jeremy Chin revenge game. That's probably not going to happen, but pectoral injury for him, limited. He's going to be fine. Then Jackson Powers, Johnson. He's in concussion protocol, but he was limited today, which means that he is progressing well through the protocol, which means he should be available for the Raiders on Sunday. So they're pretty much fully healthy, unlike us who, dealing with some injuries, but, it's what it is. We got banged up pretty bad versus the Packers last week on Thursday night. And then, as you all have probably seen by now, the Commanders have signed veteran edge rusher Preston Smith, former Redskin, right? 2015 to 2018. So, welcome back, Preston Smith. I actually don't mind this signing. This is basically the Dietrich Wise replacement, right? I know we elevated Jalen Holmes, which I actually liked because I thought Jalen Holmes was pretty good for us last year. So we elevated him, but we also decided to make another move and sign Preston Smith, bring him back. He was with the Packers, I think, since 2019. They did trade him at the trade deadline to the Steelers last year, but the Steelers were already so loaded on that D-line, and, he only had like 2 sacks with them, I'm pretty sure, so didn't get a lot of bump with them, and he hadn't been signed until today. Now he's back, and it's crazy because Ryan Kerrigan, he is our assistant D-line coach, and now Preston Smith is reunited with him. Like, that's pretty crazy, right? But I do think Preston Smith gives you more pass rusher juice than Dietrich Wise, and he should be able to stop the run, but I wouldn't expect anything major out of Preston Smith. If he could just come in here and help us stop the run like Dietrich Wise was doing and provide us some juice as a pass rusher, then, I'll be pretty pleased with him for sure. But again, the Commanders are signing former Redskin, former Packer, Preston Smith. So that's it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like down below, subscribe if you're not already subbed up to the channel, and turn on notifications. Comment down below your thoughts on anything I talked about in today's video, and comment down below your thoughts on the Preston Smith signing. Do you like the signing? Do you not? I'll say that it does add much needed depth to the D-line for us, so that is a positive. Once again, that's it for today's video, and other than that, it's been King Sean, and I'm out. Peace.